Welcome to Kindness Unlimited, where real stories remind us that kindness can change lives. What would you do if a stranger silently asked for help? Before we begin, please like, subscribe, and comment to support stories that matter. This one starts quietly, but changes everything. The roadside diner in Arizona smelled of coffee and dust when Jake sat alone at the counter. His motorcycle helmet rested beside him, scratched from years on the road. He was halfway through his drink when he noticed a small boy standing near the napkin holder, eyes down, shoulders tense. The boy wore a long-sleeved hoodie despite the blazing heat. When he reached forward, the sleeve slipped. Purple and yellow bruises wrapped around his arm like fingerprints. Jake's grip tightened around his cup. He'd seen wounds before, war, fights, regret, but never on someone so young. Jake didn't rush. He remembered how fear worked. Slowly, he asked the boy if he was hungry. The child nodded but didn't speak. His eyes kept darting toward the diner door, where an angry voice echoed from outside, calling his name. A man burst in briefly, scowled at the boy, and ordered him back out. The child flinched instantly. That reaction told Jake everything. The man smelled of cheap alcohol and control. He grabbed the boy's shoulder too hard and dragged him toward the parking lot. Jake watched through the window as the pair reached a rusted sedan. The boy stumbled. The man cursed. Jake stood up. His coffee was still warm, untouched. He left money on the counter, more than enough, and walked out without a word. Outside, the engine of the sedan roared to life. Jake pulled on his helmet, mounted his bike, and followed at a distance. He didn't know the child's name, or how this would end. But he knew one thing. Some rides aren't about freedom. Some rides are about doing what's right. If this story moved you, subscribe to Kindness Unlimited, like, and comment your thoughts. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that need them. Jake followed the rusted sedan through the fading Arizona afternoon, keeping enough distance to stay unseen. The road narrowed, dust rising behind the car like a warning. Every mile tightened his chest. He wasn't chasing trouble, he was answering it. The boy's frightened eyes replayed in his mind with every turn. The sedan pulled into a rundown motel near the highway. Paint peeling, windows cracked. Jake parked across the street, engine off, watching. The man yanked the boy from the car and shoved him toward a room. The child didn't cry. That silence hurt more than screams ever could. Jake stepped behind his bike and made a call. Years ago, he'd helped a veteran friend who now worked with Child Protective Services. His voice stayed calm as he explained what he'd seen. "I'm here," Jake said. "I'll wait." He never took his eyes off that motel door. Minutes felt like hours. The man came out once, yelling into his phone, then slammed the door again. Jake's fists clenched, but he stayed put. Justice wasn't about fists anymore. It was about making sure the boy was safe, today and tomorrow. Red and blue lights finally cut through the dust. Police cars surrounded the motel quietly but firmly. Officers knocked. The man shouted, resisted, and was forced down in handcuffs. Inside the room, officers found proof no child should ever know. The boy was wrapped in a blanket and carried out gently. Weeks later, Jake returned to the same diner. The waitress smiled, recognizing him. On the counter lay a small envelope. Inside was a crayon drawing of a motorcycle and a sun. Beneath it were shaky words. "Thank you for seeing me." Jake folded the paper carefully and slipped it into his jacket. He finished his coffee this time. As he rode back onto the open road, the weight on his chest felt lighter. He knew he hadn't changed the world, but for one child, he had changed everything.